Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Elevated Conversations about Health and Healing. This is Ellie Anderson, your host, here today with a special guest, Lindsey Bomgren. Most of you know her from Nourish, Move, Love, a local Minnesota gal as well, which is just amazing. And today we're going to be talking about building strength that lasts, blending faith and fitness with a strong foundation. All of these things are so critical. I know most of you listening are moms, and us moms tend to be in the thick of it, right? So we're excited to talk about building resilience in motherhood with business and health. I know a lot of you are business baddies out there too who listen to this. And guess what? We've been there. We're walking that out with you. And so we're really excited to chat today. So Lindsey, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's so great. Well, I just want to start by opening up and asking a little bit about your health journey. I know most people know you online. Nourish, Move, Love, those amazing workouts. What led you to that?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been such a journey. I started my business in 2015. Honestly, I've been an athlete my whole life. I played high school sports, went on to play college volleyball. I've always had a draw towards fitness and athletics. And then I graduated college and got a big girl job, was sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day and not totally loving it. And so I kind of started pursuing some additional goals on the side, like running marathons. And then I got stress fractures, which led me into the strength training world. And really, I got into like competing for fitness competitions, which led me down the path of getting my own personal training certifications and getting some certifications because I just wanted to train myself and know more about my body. And in that process, I started taking group fitness classes as like my cardio days. And I just loved the energy in the group fitness
Mm.
studio. Like everyone showed up, no one was on their phone, everyone was just here for 40, 60 minutes to just be a better version of themselves. It was like the funnest part of my day. And I was like, I want to be that girl on stage. I want to be doing this. And it's just not a career path necessarily that you can pursue. Those of you who teach group fitness, you know, you do it because you love it, right? Like you
Yeah.
make 30, 20, $30 a class. You can only teach so many classes a week physically. And it's just not a career path. But so I was like, how do I make that my job? Like, how do I turn that into something? And also I grew up in a rural community, a small town, and I'd be talking to my friends and they're like, well, we don't even have access to that. Like, that's not
Mm.
even something that's available. And so that's kind of like how the idea of Nourish Move Love was born, was really like, how do I give this environment access to everybody? Like, how do we just make it accessible to everybody? And so my mission and passion has been to make fitness free and accessible from the beginning. And so we really set out taking the food blogger model and applying it to fitness in essence. And so it's been a long journey, a lot of evolution along the way, but here we are sharing free at-home workouts to millions of women around the world, which is really wild. Like we did a live workout yesterday, and there's people on there from literally all over the world, like South Africa, Venezuela. I mean, you name it. It's literally mind-blowing to me every time we get on one of those.
It's so beautiful and so humbling too when you have a calling and it's like, okay, Lord, I don't know exactly where this is going to go, but I'm going to surrender it to you because I think this is where you want me to go. Take it and amplify it. And I was doing one of your, it wasn't live at the time, but I hopped on one after and there was people from Italy, there was people from South Africa. I'm like, this is unbelievable, the reach, the expansion of what you've created. And when you have that desire to make something like this free and accessible, and they're great workouts, very impactful, impact motivated. It's never a waste of time. You never leave one of your workouts as someone who has done them and are like, oh, I could have done that better. I feel like you are so motivating. And Rachel, she's great. Like it's so encouraging to see. And as someone who works on the opposite end in the health space, with women who are working to make their health a priority, make themselves a priority, maybe for the first time in a long time in a really intentional way. I love that I can refer them to your pool of resources and pool of different lengths and styles of exercises and know they're going to find something that's going to work for them. But for the most part, unless they want to pay more for more that you have, it is free. And I feel like when you're already working on making your health a priority, to add another cost in can feel really heavy until you see the value in it. And then once you start to see the value that, oh my gosh, if I put in a little bit more time, a little bit more money into myself, it's going to pay back amplified because I'm showing up better for myself, for my kids, for my family, for my dreams, whatever your dreams are with business. And so I just love that. I feel like it's so beautiful what you've created and the reach is it's not just happenstance because you've done such a good job. as you've grown this business, what are some of those hard fought realities that you've had to learn? And maybe even with yourself, as you've conditioned yourself, what do you feel like the top takeaway is? Okay, as I've grown, this is where I recognize sometimes I fall short, and here's what I do to give myself grace, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a loaded question for me. Because I think, and I think a lot of times it's true for all of us, is like your greatest strength and what got you here can also be your greatest weakness. And that is
Mm,
like so true for me. And it's just like I'm an Enneagram 3 to my core. So performer, achiever, success oriented, so goal driven. And just like I can bulldoze and power through and hold a pretty heavy load and power through a lot. But that can be like also my greatest weakness.
mm,
And something I'm continually battling with is trying to stay in that healthy Enneagram 3 version versus the stressed out, overwhelmed Enneagram 3, which I can so often lean into and tend to be. So for me, it would absolutely be like I have this capacity to see beyond like I think what most people are capable of seeing, and just knowing that if I endure this pain long enough that I will see fruit on the other side of it. And I was
mm,
at odds with God for a long time. Like, why am I good at fitness? Like, why do I feel like you've given me this gift? I feel like I love writing workouts, I love creating this. Like, why is this my gift? This isn't going to serve anybody, or there's nothing, like I can't provide for my family with this income. Like, it's just not going to be. And he has just wildly torn down those walls and
mm.
blown my mind more than I ever thought possible, by growing this business. Like literally, while COVID was a hindrance to most businesses, it was like at the pivotal point in my business where it just at home workouts just took off. And I just happened to be on the cusp of my bit. Like it was just such a God timing thing. And in that stance, some of the greatest setbacks that you alluded to that I've had is just really, there's been times where I can get into this thought of like, this is mine. I've created this. I've worked so hard for this. And God has shown me time and time again through knee surgery, knee injuries, through several big, hard roadblocks in my business that I thought were going to be really detrimental, that like, this isn't mine.
Mm.
I don't own it. I've been gifted a lot of this, like, and I'm here to steward it and steward it really well. And that's a prayer that I'm just continually praying in my heart is give me wisdom and discernment to steward what you have given me well, because it is a huge responsibility that weighs really heavy on me, I would say, like, and all business owners, like, I think it's a really heavy burden to carry when you look at it like that. Like, I believe that I've been gifted this platform and I have the ability to reach women across the entire world through a tiny little screen and a set of dumbbells and speak so much life into them in a potentially really dark season. We have
Mm.
a lot of women that are sweating with us through pregnancy and postpartum, and just these times that can feel really isolating in motherhood when you're raising littles and you feel unseen. And so I just have this like really great gift that I get to speak life into women in all seasons of life, but potentially some really like dark and isolating ones. Fitness got me through some really dark postpartum times. And so I just think that's a really big gift. It does weigh heavy on me, and I don't take it lightly.
I hear that 100%. And I love what you're saying about stewarding. I say that often about the businesses that the Lord has called me to run to. And I feel like oftentimes when I feel they're getting too heavy, it's because I'm taking on more than I should instead of giving it back to the Lord. Obviously, there's so much we need to do to steward this well. But when you look at it as like, Lord, you have gifted me this, you have allowed me to do this. Help me do it as good as possible. Help me to see these roadblocks as ways you're sharpening me. I do think that plays into our personality type though, right? It's like I'm seeing these challenges as just that, a challenge. It's going to give me grace. It's going to sharpen me more. I'm going to bulldoze through it. I'm going to be the buffalo and I'm going to keep trudging. I really hear that. And I know a lot of the women who are listening who are really driven and maybe business owners themselves are probably like, yeah, guilty, guilty, guilty. I think when I notice in my life the table starts to be wobbly is when I take out the reality of the Lord has given me this to steward. I just have to steward it well and continuously turn back to Him and take on more of the fault or more of the joys, right? Then it's like, no, Lord, this is all through you, to you and through you that I get to do this. And I love that you're talking about being with women through the seasons. One of my niches that I really excel in is women's hormones. And I think that the integrative approach that I take resonates with a lot of women. But when it comes to women in those seasons, those darker seasons where they're like, I feel like my body is not reacting the way that I want it to. I put in the work and the time and I'm not getting the results that I want. I feel like, what's the point? You know, breathing life into them of you're worthy. if the outcome is not what you want it to be, let's get to the root of it. There's a reason why your body is unhappy. There's a reason why your mind is unhappy. There's a reason why your thyroid is flaring up or your liver is coming up. Like your body is talking to you with the symptoms that you're experiencing. Let's figure out what that is. But in the meantime, don't give up on yourself. The time you're putting into these workouts, the time you're putting into your physical health, it only builds stronger mental health and resilience and vice versa. It's this beautiful cycle that we have to honor and steward so that when you do start to dig into the hormone piece of it or more the functional health piece of things, you're going to get those results because you haven't been wasting time. Your body is trying to show you something when those symptoms are not where you want them to be. And symptoms are just a sign that your body needs a little more support. We can help you unpack that, but you're worthy of the time you're putting into the exercise because it only helps fuel your mind. It's getting those endorphins going. It's going to help you through those harder seasons in such a beautiful, beautiful way. And
Yeah,
I just love
100%.
that. Well, when it comes to this load you're carrying, what keeps you from burning out? If
Uh,
anything, it's a loaded
yeah,
question too.
such a loaded question. And I just laugh because I'm currently in like, so we have some pretty, you know, heavy seasons intentionally. Like I strategically try to be lighter in the summer so I can spend more time at home with my kids. But then I came back to September, which was way too full. And I really crashed and burned in October after a really heavy filming season and tons of work travel in October. And it just really, it hit me hard. And
Mm,
speaking of like dealing with your hormones, like my body just started reacting, like talk about like, stress dermatitis started like your body just
mm.
like knows that it can't handle, we can only handle so much stress. We can only handle so much load. And I'm one of those people who tends to just keep pushing and powering through. Like, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this until my body literally physically says, like, you can't do this anymore. And so I tend to be that person. And so I really am coming out of the other side slowly.
Mm.
But going back to just like realizing like I was not meant to carry this load alone. Like, why am I putting this all on myself? And like putting some incredibly unrealistic time markers around this. And we're going into launching a new program right now. So we're really busy with launch season. But I was trying to like do all the, I'm just a growth oriented person. I have all these big
Yeah.
goals. I want to achieve these business goals. But I read this verse and it was just like, wow. And I wish I had my journal next to me so I could quote it more specifically. But it's from Psalms. And it was just about like the importance of shepherd, like steward, like basically stewarding, but like the importance of protecting your herd. Like it was talking
Mm.
about a shepherd, like the importance of protecting your herd, like riches and wealth and all this stuff is going to fade. It doesn't last for eternity. And I was just like, oh, that is just like, because I'm constantly in this battle of like motherhood and work and how to balance this equilibrium. And there is no balance. Like there isn't. Anyone that says there's a way to get work-life balance is not an entrepreneur, doesn't have a business,
Yes,
isn't
I
carrying that load. Like
totally
I
agree.
genuinely believe that.
I
And I
totally
don't think
agree.
there has to be balance. I think there's seasons, right? But like your priorities have to remain steadfast. And so that's what I've just been really coming back to is like I let my priorities get too far out of whack. And like I can be so goal driven and so work driven because I'm good at it. And I like being good at things as an Enneagram 3 that I can just easily fall into this like work trap of workaholicness. And so I have to be firm in setting boundaries and Sabbath and resting and choosing my family ultimately.
Yeah.
Like the whole reason I went into entrepreneurship was so I could have flexibility and freedom to build this life that I desired to have more time with my kids. And I tend to be somebody who will flip that script really quick when I get into a busy season. And so it's really just like coming up for breath, pulling yourself out of the trenches
Yeah.
and being like, is this timeline realistic? Who set this? I did. Like, why? And like, just like, why? And
I
like, just
feel
then,
that to my soul. I once heard somebody say, and it resonated so deeply with me, any entrepreneur who says they want work-life balance is a liar. They want work-life integration. And that resonated so much more strongly for me because I'm the same way. I tend to be very goal-driven, unrealistic, but in my mind, realistic expectations for a timeline. It's like, I know we can do this if we just go balls to the wall, all out and do it. We can do it. We will get through it. And I think too, like fitness has been a huge part of my journey my whole life. I'm so blessed to have had like athletics and had teams and have parents who encourage that of us and I feel like when you have that your whole life, it builds this level of discipline within you of like I don't get to do this. I have the privilege of doing this. I have the privilege of taking care of my body, and I'm going to do that every day for as long as I possibly can because there are people who cannot do this. And when you have that level of discipline, you carry it into your work, you carry it into your home, you carry it into your family. I don't know how you mother your children, but I often find myself, I feel like I'm often a coach. So I can't even imagine how it is for you. It's like you are created for greatness, and getting through a hard time is going to make you even greater. We're going to get through it together. We're going to turn back to the Lord. My husband's like, they probably just needed a hug. I'm like, oh, but I'm gonna coach them through it to greatness. So let's do it. But I feel like that high drive too, like I'm just in coming out of this hard season. I shared with you before we started this, I was sick with my kids. I'm like, I told myself I just have to make it through November. I built November so full, so packed full to get through to December and January and have it be easier. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? You think one of these times I would learn, but it's like, okay, Lord, I'm going to root in you. I'm going to be present, try to be present with my family. But that's the biggest thing is when you have this drive and this passion, it's easily reignited by what you see down the road. And you are so right. You're on the forefront of so many things fitness. And I feel the same way with where Elevated is at with all things integrative health. I feel like what a blessing it is to have these, like, I always call them downloads from the Lord of here's where he wants us to go. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing it everywhere online. And I feel like it's the same with your fitness videos. It's like you're doing it two steps ahead of competition, which I just love. And I see that and I recognize it. And I know that that is a stewarding of what the Lord is prompting you to do, right? And so when you have that, it's like, Lord, how do you want me to do this? How do you want me to approach this in a way that's going to create balance for my family? Because I want to like sprint to get there. I know you gave it to me. How do I get there in a way that's still creating balance for my family? How old are your kids?
Yeah, I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
Oh, mama, you go. Oh my gosh, that's so fun and so
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah, but if
they?
you like what you were saying, like if you literally read my prayer journal every morning, it would say like literally it's like, dear Lord, you made me this way. Like you fully designed me this way. Like you made me so determined and so disciplined and like you gave me all these big goals. Like give me the wisdom and discernment to how I'm supposed
Mm.
to do all of these things to steward everything you have given me well. Like how do I be the mom I want to be and the business leader and all of these things and have all the it's like a daily prayer. And I'm just like, where's that crystal ball?
I know. It is a daily prayer, and it's so interesting. I feel like one thing to going back to it is like the team element of it. I realize the Lord has given big dreams, high drive, high motivation, the capacity and the ability to do these things. That is such a gift. I recognize too that with Christ at the center, it will just ignite a fire for people and it will catch. And it's like, okay, so then I hire people to support me in doing this. And then I have the weight of having a team that I need to continue to support. So it's like, then it's me. It's like, okay, I'm going back to myself instead of like, Lord, you gave me this. Help me keep giving it back to you. Because man, otherwise you get so caught up in your own head about it and it's scary.
It is. I'm literally just put out a job posting yesterday for a director of operations to help manage my team because that burden has weighed so heavy on me for so long. It's
Mm,
like I don't have the capacity or the bandwidth to I was telling my husband, I'm like, I can't be a mom to 3 humans and an amazing leader and boss to 4 other humans and run the business so that the humans can get paid.
yeah.
I need a buffer. Like I need something like I'm not stewarding them well. I'm not giving them the growth they deserve. I'm not giving them the attention. I'm canceling meetings all the time because I just don't have capacity or bandwidth for them. And that's not fair. Yes. So I
I
totally
I
get
feel
that.
that to my soul and I think it's so beautiful and so heavy at the same time to recognize I'm the same way where I'll just like I just need a minute. If I have this meeting now, I'm going to be so checked out. It's not fair to you and it's not fair to me. But you want them to feel continuously motivated. We create the motivation that inspires. And so by making sure that you're taking care of and stewarding your own motivation, how can you create the other people to fill in the gaps? And I think that's one thing in my entrepreneur journey. The Lord is like, I call you to start things, but I don't call you to finish them alone. There are so many people with so many talents that continue to fill the bucket and fill in places where you lack because the other thing I've had to learn in this journey is you can be exceptional at what the Lord has called you to be exceptional at. That doesn't mean everything. And that's hard as a high driver and high performer to release is like, but I want to be good at everything. I want to be able to do it all. Do you find you struggle with that too? Or it's like, no, I'm good at giving it up?
Oh no, I have a very hard time. I tell my team all the time, like you have to tell me to stop. Like I take back work. I have a really hard time. I mean, this is your baby, like, right? It's
Yeah.
your, and like, I have a really hard time giving over control. And it's something I'm continually working on is the asking for help and being better at just like the pushback of like, this didn't meet my expectations. I need you to finish it versus like, I'll just do it. It'll be easier if I stay up till midnight and I just take care of it. And so I have a very, very hard time with that. But something I'm learning, especially coming out of this season of, I would say, a little the burnout I was experiencing recently, is just like I I serve nobody when I am burnt out. Like as
Mm,
a woman, specifically a female, so as a mom and both as a female business leader, we carry a lot of this emotional, like you were saying, we carry the emotional and load. So how I show up, the minute my team walks in the door and how I show up at a meeting, that presence is like so important and it trickles
mm.
down to the team and how everybody is operating and feeling. And it's the same with my family. And so I have to operate at this level of carrying this emotional load that is having this positive trickle down effect. Because the minute I step out of that, it like I saw it. I saw my burnout impact my team. I saw my burnout impact my family. And I was like, I am doing a huge disservice to everybody right now by not taking care of myself, like a huge disservice to everybody. And so this is not serving us. And that's when I was like, okay, we really need to reevaluate and get something else in place because this is such, it has such a significant impact the way you show up.
I totally agree. And from a not, okay, so this is not related, but I'm thinking like where my mind always goes is functional health. So from like a literal perspective of what was happening to your body for women who are listening, who are high performers, high drivers, and then the type of exercise you're doing, Lindsey, you're not just burning out, like you're bottoming out your hormones, you're bottoming out the reserves, your cortisol is spiking because your body's trying to protect you. It thinks you're running from a bear, you're running from a bear. So it's like, I have to prioritize my safety over all else. And that impacts your cognition, that impacts the way that you're thinking, that impacts your ability to make a critical decision. Your body's always going to defer back to fight or flight. So a lot of times, your body, like the decisions you make, it's like, why did I make that decision? I don't really remember. And it's your body was protecting you. So your hippocampus, which is clarity, cognition, memory making, is suppressed. Your amygdala, which is survival mode, is upregulated. And the body's like, I just need to survive, 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 survive. So when you're in this state of high drive, high performance, I can do it. Yes, you can, but should you? Is that the right way to steward it? And then on top of it, because so many of us love that high intensity type of workout or exercising, on top of it, it's like that is literally just reinforcing the body thinking it's running from a bear. So it's not that those things are not helpful, but they're not helping your body downregulate in a way that's going to be in conjunction with healing and restabilizing. So as hard as it can be to surrender some of those things, like you said, putting out for a new position for your business, your ability to protect your body during those seasons because you are the face of your business will be such a gift. It will be so well received by your own body, by your hormones, by your ability to downregulate, be present, and be that calming force for your team. And I have been through this season so many times where like I show up on edge in that survival mode and immediately everyone is on edge. Like that co-regulation is so powerful, not just in the workplace, but in your home. And so if you're carrying that into your home, your kids feel that stress and they start to upregulate. I mean, my daughter for sure can pick up on when I'm stressed. My boys, not as much, but my oldest daughter, she's 10. If mom is stressed, she can sense it. And it's just like, okay, my family deserves better than what I'm giving them right now. And it's really hard when you're in that season of a business where we were, we are small, we're exploding. How do we add in a way that's going to make the most sense for this team? Because I feel like the hardest season is when you're right in the middle. Before you're at that like higher level, you know there's more places you can go, but that midi section where it's like people are still sharing jobs and the jobs they're sharing don't exactly make sense and it's like how can we get this more conducive to health for myself or the team, etc. And that is a tough place to be, sister. It's like, oh my gosh, I have been there and I still feel like we are kind of there right now where I know there's another level the Lord is calling us to. How do I steward that well without taking everything back on myself? Like, I'll take it, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. There are some things we always, as the owner, have to have our hands on, but there are other things that you have team members that can do really, really well. And so it's just a matter of allowing them to do that job well and giving them grace to then hear that feedback. So as you've added people into your team, How's growth looked like for Nourish Move Love? Tell me a little bit about that. In the online space, it's totally different than brick and mortar. So I would love to know.
Yeah. It's been one of those things where it's like every time it's so scary. Every time I put out a job posting, I'm like, am I going to be able to pay this person? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's really scary as a business owner to hire. It is. It's really scary. You're taking on the weight of another human life, which not is they're families, they're people. They're like it's just like I care about them genuinely as people and I want them to have an awesome experience too. And it's a heavy load to create a culture that
Mm,
is that. And so it's never lightly, but every time I've hired someone, I'm like, how did we operate without them before?
hmm.
How? How? Like, I just don't understand it. And so I've been really a slow adopter in that. I've recently, it feels fast because I hired someone last year. Now I'm hiring another person this year. I mean, we're a small team. And fortunately, I have not had to deal with turnover. Like everyone has stuck with me and been with me for
So
eight
good.
years, 5 years. Like I'm so blessed in that regard. But it's really scary every time. But every time I'm like, how did we ever operate without you? And
Mm.
so it's been really great and pivotal for my growth. Really hard for me to let go of things, teaching me a lot. And it's great because it's like you hire these people for a reason, right? Like
Mm.
we all get to operate in this zone of genius that we have. And I am not good at these things, and someone else can do them so much better than me. And they bring a new perspective and they bring new ideas to the table. And it's so healthy for the business. And I'm very fortunate. It's been so great and pivotal to our growth. I never
Yeah.
imagined I would have a team, and let alone a team of 4 full-time, now going to 5 full-time. Like it just feels, I mean, we're a small company, but it feels like we're like a real company now.
It's so humbling. I totally agree with you. I feel like my first employees, I started in my back shed. Actually, I started in this bedroom and then to the back shed, and then we built a building. And every time you add someone, it's so scary. It's like this is a person I have to pay, not just them. This is they're leaving their homes because I have a team of women, and I think you do too. It's
Yeah.
like they're leaving their children to do something, and I want them to love it. And that's why culture, like you said, is so important. What kind of culture do you strive to create for Nourish Move Love?
Yeah, I mean, we're a really like gritty team. And that's the cool part about working for a small team is you get to wear a lot of hats and we live in the online space. And so there is no like, here's the business and here's how we operate it. It's literally changing all the time. New technologies are launching. We're continually adapting. So it is an ever evolving. Like if you never want to be bored, come work for me. So it's a really high paced environment, which can be great, but hard to also manage that. Like when do we step on the gas? When do we push the brake? We have to have both seasons in
Mm,
pace. And so it's something we're continually like figuring out. But finally, it's been so nice as I've added more to my team, people have been able to really hone in on their zone of genius, which is so great. Now we have the right people in the right seats. For a long time, it was like, well, you're managing this, I'm kind of managing this. This isn't my zone of genius, but I'll take it because I know the team needs me to. And we're really getting people into their like proper zone of genius, which allows people to just work more efficiently. And
hmm.
so that's it. It's really great. But we are definitely a high paced culture, which is something I'm trying to like navigate and manage and try to like, we have a slower Q3 summer season. We do Fridays off in the summer, but it's like, so my team has to realize like when we're a little bit ramped up right now in Q4, getting ready to launch our New Year's program, fitness resolutions are around the corner. Like we have to work a little bit harder here in order to get those Fridays off in the summer. So there has to be this like give and this take. So really the hardest part for me is creating a sustainable pace that we can run at for 12 months while navigating all the changes that are happening in the online space and the
Mm,
curveballs that that's going to throw at us throughout the year. So that's really like the hardest part of the business, and the job is just never done. There's always more work to be done. And
yeah.
so it's like what goals feel like how we're going to make the most impact with the time that we have because we are still a really young, small, scrappy team.
I love that. Gritty and scrappy. It's the way you got to be as you start. It is the way you
Yeah.
have to be. And it's just
But
as,
the fun thing is like we can literally have an idea that we're spitballing at the table yesterday. We work out of my house, by the way, which is talk about young and scrappy. Uh, the team comes over to my house because we film out of my living room. And so, but like we can spitball an
no
idea
way.
at the
You do like
table.
all of your lives and stuff out of your living room.
Everything is done out of my living room. Out of my living room. My team comes over to my house and works at my kitchen table. And so this sounds really silly, but we moved 3 years ago to a bigger home so that it was more sustainable for the team to be here and to film workouts out of the home. But prior to that, we'd had this kitchen table. It's where I started my business was my kitchen table. It's now at our cabin, but I had a really hard time getting rid of the kitchen table because it
Mm.
just holds so much. Like this is where my babies were built. But yes, the team literally works at my kitchen table. We film out of my living room. We move all the furniture. We did it all yesterday, moved all the furniture, filmed here yesterday. But we can have an idea that we're like literally spitballing at 3 p.m. on Tuesday and it's live on Wednesday. We just can move so fast to try things and test things, which is really fun. And like no ideas are off the table.
Yeah. I love that. That's like a hallmark of a growing baby, but gonna be a giant business, right? Is like we are willing to do and try anything. And if it fails, it fails. And we know now don't do that. But what's the next idea? And how are we going to navigate this? We totally did the same thing. We would start back shed, we would do kitchen meetings, all team meetings in the kitchen, like everybody fit. It was just, there's so many amazing memories in that too. But I kind of giggled when you're like, I always tell people if you're not good with like, if you need rigidity and a ton of structure, this is not the workplace for you because we are still growing. We're trying new things. And I'm willing to be flexible and to put in the work because I know that that's, where greatness comes from is trying new things. So I love that so much. Yeah, you're gearing up for your busy season though. You have a big new program dropping at New Year. Tell me what that looks like as far as creating balance for your family right now heading into this busy season.
Yeah, so I'm so excited. We work so far ahead. So we actually filmed this New Year's program that's going live in September. So September was crazy because we were filming so many videos. So we work like 3 months in advance because we have to set up so much on the back end. There's a blog post for everything. There's a YouTube video. There's so much stuff happening on the back end.
Amazing.
We're getting marketing plans in place, all the things. So there's a lot that happens in the background, but right now we're really in like launch season. So we're really just trying to captivate our audience, get the eyeballs out there. And we're starting to push trailers and we're starting to push some of the programming and branding. But it's really exciting because it's the first program I've shot with my husband. So it's called Athlete 25. It's athletic training at home in 25 minutes a day. Both my husband and I were athletes. My husband still plays professional beach volleyball. So he is an athlete. And so it just felt like really good time. But being a small team, we had to like pivot. Rachel, who normally is in the videos with me, was during filming season, was getting married and took a extended honeymoon in Europe. And so I was like, how do we fill this blank? And so my husband had to step up to the plate. Like it's just ever evolving and shifting, but it's great because it's like, great, this is a trial for us. We normally predominantly target women, but we get emails and messages every day from women who are like, my husband wants to do something, but he feels girly doing these workouts. And so this is the non-girly program with my husband that's meant to be like, if you want to work out with your partner, do this because I know that they want to see another male doing this alongside them, just like a pregnant woman wants to see a pregnant woman
Yeah,
doing the
you're
workouts.
so right.
They don't want to see someone else because it's like you can't modify the way I modify or vice versa. So this is our first test at targeting the male audience too. And like so it's a total test. We're throwing it out there, but it's really fun. It's basically how my husband and I actually train in our basement. And we're just bringing it into your living room now. So it's athletic training, 25 minutes a day. We're really excited about it. It's a 2-week program, but it's meant to be 4 weeks because it's a new workout video every day. So you're meant to repeat the program so you can see progress. There's tracking spreadsheets. Like it's awesome. And we pour our hearts into these programs. Literally so much sweat and blood and tears are poured into these programs. And it is a true privilege that we get to offer them for free. And we monetize differently. We monetize off the ads that are displayed on the YouTube channel, the ads that are displayed on our website, and the brand partnerships and other things that we have. So, but it's a real gift to get to share these with the world for free. It's really fun.
I love that. I think that is so beautiful. And I love that your husband is right there with you. Okay, because from one female entrepreneur to another, how is your husband supporting you in your entrepreneur goals? Because I think that there's so much to be said about the strong, more silent. And I guess I don't know your husband at all, but mine is like strong, silent, constantly supporting me, constantly like, okay, is this what you should be spending your time on? If it is, I'm going to support you 100%. But I also want health for you and for our family. So how does he kind of stand in that space with you?
Yeah, it has. He's just the perfect partner for me. And I'm so grateful that God has put us together because basically, when I came to him with this crazy idea, like I had a great medical device sales job. We got married, and I was like, you have health insurance, so I'm going to quit and pursue this. And he was like, are you sure? I really like that medical sales job you got. Like, that doesn't seem like a good idea. But he also, like, he did definitely question it, but he was like, I know you. I know you to your core. And when you set your mind to something, like, no, there's no stopping you. And so I knew in my heart that you were going to make this business a business. It took a long time, but he stood in that path and was our sole provider for, I didn't pay myself
Mm.
for the first 4.5 years of my business while I was growing
Hmm.
it. I literally was like teaching classes to pay someone else. I hired my first employee before I ever started paying myself. And that's just the gritty part of it. And so he stood in that. He always says he's NML's greatest investor. He's like, I'm the biggest investor. Because he was our sole provider, right? Like there were
Mm.
a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a lot of really thin grocery bills to like make it through. But he did that and he stood in that gap and provided for us during that season. And then we both just really committed to like having our own big audacious goals and supporting each other in that. And so for me, it was starting my business and he's been a huge supporter of that and helping, provide for our family while I was trying to start the business. And then he is also had a full-time job and then played professional beach volleyball on the side. And so I was like, okay, I will be the default parent and also be a lot of the sole parenting provider while you travel and do this because he has to travel a lot during that, especially
Mm.
in the summer. And so I took on more of that load. And like we just both were like, we're fully committed to this. We both have really big goals. We both have these, like, what I believe God gave us are these like really good giftings. And if we don't use them to our full capacity, will we look back and think like, what a waste? And so we
Yeah.
just decided to like go all in and he's all in on volleyball and in his job and I was all in on Nourish Move Love and we've just supported each other. It's been, I mean, there's been really messy seasons, there's been really great seasons, but like all in all, it's amazing to have that support system. And now we're in a very privileged place that the load became too heavy this past year. It was like he's working full time, playing professional beach volleyball. I'm running Nourish Move Love. We have some other business ventures we're also pursuing and managing. So our hands are in a lot of pots. He's coaching flag football and baseball. I'm coaching t-ball and I'm coaching soccer for the kids. And like our plates were just way too full. We're leading Bible studies at our church. Like it's just the plates were too full. Something had to give. And so he left his full-time position in July of this year and is pursuing his own business venture now and helping manage some of our other business ventures. And that has been such a gift of time back.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm so happy for you guys. I think that there is something to be said about that mutual support. Like you said, it's not just him supporting your goals, it's both. And I feel like that's so critical for the marriage as a whole, but to always be able to fall back on one another and know like you've got this, I've got you, and vice versa. It's so important. And the other thing too, I think that's really critical in my marriage is just making sure that we're putting Christ in the space above both of us, right? Like I have realistic expectations for Drew because I know that he's human. And so I know if I am trying to put him in a default space where the Lord needs to live, he's going to fail, and that's not fair. So I need to continuously go back to the Lord, and then we will continue to fuel our dreams through where we feel the Lord is calling us. And that doesn't necessarily make things easy, but it makes them always more worthwhile. And it makes us see like we're going to push through and we're going to get to the point where you can step back from that full-time job and be able to continue to be present. And I think the gift of time on this entrepreneur journey is why most of us do it. Like that ability to be present with our kids. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't trade that for the world, especially when it's the peanut butter jelly days. Like we all go through them where it's like, okay, we got to be really, really critical because mom has a team. She's not taking a paycheck this week. It just is what it is. I think the idea of entrepreneurship is so fun for people until they realize, like, no, you're not getting paid for like the first 3, 4, 5 years. And you got to be okay with that. It's
And
scary.
you're working harder than you've ever worked in your life. But what's also really great is about our partnership is literally like 2 Fridays ago, it was like 6 or 7 p.m. and I'm still sitting at my computer grinding away because I had this big audacious goal of what was going to happen in January. And my husband is finally, he's like, when is enough enough?
Mhm.
Like it is 7 p.m. on a Friday night. Your kids are here running around the house. Like if you don't launch this in January, it was first another side project. He's like, is it really going to impact the business? What if you launch it in March? What if you launch it in April, May, June? Like, is it like you're going to be okay? And then it really like so it's like he's gained a lot of confidence in stepping in and standing up
Mm,
to me and like being like, yeah, you like this just isn't realistic. You can't do this anymore. Like
mm.
you can't work at this pace. This isn't healthy. Right. So
And when you step back and see that, when they say that to you, it's like, oh, they're just trying to protect me. Like he's trying to protect me and my health and my well-being because, again, high drive. It's like, well, if I don't get it in January, initially in my mind, it's like, then everything's a failure. But then it's
yes.
like,
I was like, people who launched this in January have a 48% higher success rate. The statistics, like I had all the statistics. And he's like, but do you have like,
The voice of reason, we'll call it, right? It's like,
right.
come
Like, are you
on.
really going to ruin the holidays for our entire family over this? And then
Oh,
like, that's like such a reframe. It's like, no,
oh,
no, because I've done
so
that
true.
before. I've ruined so many holidays because of what, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just the drive that's in us. And for me, it's like this, I think I'm doing something good for my family because I'm providing for them at a higher level. And
Yes,
like now I'm the breadwinner and the provider, the financial burden. And it's like it feels like
have
I'm
to.
doing this to better my family, so
And
it's a
again,
it's a
I think
balancing
that's
act.
where it's a balancing act. And I think that's where, back to where we talked about right in the beginning, it's like, okay, Lord, I have to steward what you've given me. And sometimes that is working at 7 o'clock on a Friday night, but most of the time it's probably not. It's me getting into my own head, like I have to, I have to, I have to. It's like, no, where are you calling me to in this next season? But man, that comes with so much intentionality because it's when you have those big ideas, it's like, I have to write this down now because we've had those moments of big ideas and then you forget them. And it's like, shoot, this was my
Yeah.
fault. I didn't work on it to begin with. All right. So let's talk about the non-negotiables in your life. Your high drive, high performance entrepreneur. What helps you keep your foundation strong, body, mind, soul?
Yeah, and what's funny is like this truly does change for me in seasons.
Mm,
I think as people, it's like this is your morning routine, and mine has changed recently. Like I said, I was going through this season, and I've been working on my labs with a functional doctor, and it's like this is not. I need to limit external stresses right now, and so I was cold plunging every morning at 5 a.m. and it's like that's just no longer serving me, and I need to
mm,
shift. And so it really does change in seasons for me. I'm really prioritizing sleep right now. We know that if I get under 6 hours of sleep, it's a huge trigger for my system
mm-hmm.
and I can just spiral into this. It's crazy. Like it's literally crazy what stress and can do to your body and operating at that capacity. And I have this like productivity mindset where I'm like, I want to be operating at full capacity all the time. And so my current routine is definitely different. But for me, it's now like sleeping. I used to get up even earlier, but it's like a 5:30 alarm. And then I crawl into the basement and I used to jump into the cold plunge. But now it's like I do a little bit of stretching and I sit in my chair. I have a little red light that I shine on my face and do my devotional time in my Bible and reading and journaling, and then get the kids up and get them ready, get them breakfast. And fortunately, my husband's taking a little bit more of the load of doing drop offs now. So that buys back some time for me. So then he
Yes.
does drop offs and then I like go for, so my non negotiables right now are really getting up and having my morning quiet time. I love getting some stretching and movement in that time too. Trying to get outside for a walk, no matter what the temperature is at some point in
Mm,
time, getting outside, getting some sunlight on my face and getting a walk. I love to like listen to business podcasts, learning all
yeah.
about, just continually like, okay, how do we make our SOPs better? We got to get SOPs in
Yeah.
place because that's just not that side of my brain. So I'm listening to a lot of stuff about SOPs right now,
That's
standard
so
operating
funny.
processes, really
Yes.
stuff I do not love, which is why I'm hiring someone for operations. Um, so it's the early wake up for the quiet time, movement and stretching, and then getting outside with some quiet time. And then of course I love fitness. Like fitness is such an easy thing for me. It's like I love feeling strong. So getting my workout in. Those family dinners are like a really big like
Mm,
crux of my day and something I'm really trying to like when the kids are home, I'm off and I'm totally present with them. And right currently it's snowy winter, cold outside. So it used to be like we always are outside playing until the sun goes down. Currently it's like we're playing games of Uno and board games right now. And that's like how we end the night. And so those are like a highlight that I really look forward to in my day. And I'm really trying to get to bed early.
I love that. And as someone, again, hormones, I when it comes to like cold plunging, I love cold plunging for women. It matters what time of your cycle you're at, especially even workouts. Cycle syncing workouts can be hugely helpful for people who are healing. Is that something you're familiar with at all?
So I am, and I'm gonna have to. I just like this is such a hot topic, and I know, but I just don't. So for me, so with cycle syncing, this is my perspective. I was an athlete my whole life, right? So I'm an athlete
Yes.
my whole life, still filming workouts at a very aggressive pace. I never got to choose game days around my cycle. I still don't get to choose shoot days around my cycle. Cycle syncing just never existed for me. I didn't get to be like, oh, can't play today's volleyball match. Like I'm on my, it's like
Yeah.
that was never a thing. So for me, it's never been a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm very data driven and the research just shows like there's studies from 2020, 2023, 2025. Like there are very trivial differences in strength training throughout your cycle. A woman's capacity for strength and endurance and stamina, it's very trivial differences. And if we are like if some traditional slightly and there's various cycle syncing methods out there, but
Yes.
a lot of them are saying like during these 2 weeks, you should not be lifting heavy. During these 2 weeks, you can. And I just don't believe that 2 weeks is enough for any woman to make progress, and taking 2 weeks off is not. So, in my opinion, you should be strength training throughout the entire cycle. Like that's where the camp I live in. And
I
I think
totally agree
there's
with you on that. I am
so
not,
much to be said about listening to
yes,
your body and being in
yes.
tune with your body. And for me right now, that's, yeah, like I'm not sprinting nearly as much. I'm not doing as much of the intent. Like I am really focused, like, but like pull-ups and push-ups and all that stuff, it's never going to be out of my routine. Like I am
Hmm.
such a huge proponent of strength training. And so for me, it's, yeah, but I'm definitely learning a lot more about like really what happens and like how my, progesterone just totally depleted itself. And like,
Mm,
how do we get that back up and get into a more regular, routine and keeping my body operating optimally where it needs to be. Like I didn't realize that I didn't know I ever even had mono, but apparently I did. And so now when I go into this super suppressed, crazy, hyper stressed state, my body reactivates it inside
yeah.
me and the virus like goes crazy and eats all my iron and then I'm like completely iron deficient. And so it's just like a learning curve, right? And realizing that truly how it's the same thing with like think about what you did in your 20s. Like I could go out like the implications are just were just different. And it's the same thing. My body cannot operate at the pace it did
Yeah.
when I was younger. Like I do have to, which is a sad realization.
It sucks. Aging just kind of sucks. It keeps us
Yeah.
humble.
I'm like, come on. I used to be able to operate at a very high capacity all the time without implications.
I I will say it too because I'm a proponent of cycle syncing, but I'm not a proponent of laziness. Like am with you on that when people are like, "Well, it's 2 weeks off." It's like, "No, you don't actually know about cycle syncing. Let me talk to you about it." Because it is so critical for women to know where they're at in their cycle to honor what their hormones are trying to do. With every cycle, your body's trying to procreate, whether it's your goal or not. That is your body's goal. So if you're not creating safety within your body to do that, your hormones are going to be out of whack. But like that's where I tend to go into it more is like if you're going to be doing high intensity interval training and you already have at baseline progesterone issues or cortisol or stress issues within your body and you're doing HIIT in that luteal phase more than just like a game day or like with a marathon day, your body is going to be in a constant state of stress versus just one stress, you exert, you keep going. So I think people have to be strength training all the time, though. In the world that we live in, with the stress that we have, if a woman comes in and tells me, like, I don't like to strength train, we need to start talking about, like you said, the data, bone density. It's critical for bone density, especially living here in Minnesota. It's so important to have, and it's important to have impact for bone density too. You have to have that jarring for your bone health. And so just having the conversation around if you need to heal your hormones, this is something you have to do for a little while. Then once you create that safety for your body, you're going to be able to feel out where you're at in your cycle and know what your capacity is and show up in the way that feels right for your body. Because you never want to just check in and out of a workout. Like I hate when you leave a workout and it's not fulfilling. That's like the most bummer feeling ever. Once people start to tap into, oh, well, I literally am on day one of my period. That's probably why I can't go full out. If I give myself a little more time and energy in a week, I'll be able to do this the way I want to do it. But I am 100% with you on the strength training. I think it needs to be done multiple times a week, every single week. And it is one of the most effective ways to reduce that cortisol load without upticking your adrenaline in a way that's going to, again, bottom out progesterone, uptick cortisol. I could talk forever about it because I love it, but I'm with you. Like, look at the data. It is so important. It is so important, especially for those of us that live in this northern hemisphere. I think that strength training for our bones, when that vitamin D is not there, it's so important.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I love that. Well, okay, we are rounding out this podcast. I just want to give you a little bit more time to talk about your New Year's program so that people have time. Like, if you guys are new to a health journey, if you're new to an exercise journey, you do not have to start with our workouts. And that's the one thing I love about Nourish Move Love. If you go to her YouTube page, website, there's all lengths. Like, I have done 45-minute workouts, I have done 20-minute workouts, I've done 10. I will also do a shameless plug really quick for your diastases program, postpartum. I struggle with that hardcore. I've had 6 children, so I love what you have online available for that. Thank you so much for doing that with a pelvic floor, like a PT, right? She
Mhm.
was great. So tell me a little bit about your New Year's program and maybe some other programs to come. Put the plugs in, sister. People love you.
Yeah, I mean, like I alluded to, our new program is called Athlete 25. So it's athletic training at home in 25 minutes a day. It's meant to be done with just a set of dumbbells or other pieces of equipment if you have access to them. But I will say this is probably one of our more intense programs in the sense that it does, it's really like mobility, strength, and then there's like short, intense hit components. There is an agility day, like a cardio and agility day, where you drop the weights and you shake it out and you work on agility and core strength training. So it is a higher intense program. I would just say like it's meant to be for men and women who want to train athletically at home. And if you're
Yes.
not in that season, like that's totally fine. We have plenty of programs. We have a beginner program, a postpartum program, a pregnancy program. We have Strong 20, which is like our signature 20 minutes a day strength training program. So we have so many programs for all seasons of life, as you alluded to. And same with our diastasis recti program. It's like I did not want to film that at 6 weeks postpartum, but I wanted women to see like truly where I was at 6 weeks postpartum versus like me a year down the road filming this. And I filmed it with my pelvic floor PT and literally just walking through the exact issues I was experiencing because I just don't think so many women just don't have access to
Hmm.
that resource and that knowledge of like, and it's constantly evolving and changing. Like when I had my first or second baby, it was like no coning, and now it's like soft coning versus hard coning. Like there's just like the research is just continuing to evolve. Like your core is a muscle, just like the rest of your body, and if you don't put resistance on it, how is it ever going to get stronger?
Yeah.
And so it's just like the research is continuing to evolve in that space too. So big proponent of having a plan and following a plan, but at the end of the day, I'm the biggest fan of the workout you're actually going to do. Like the best workout is the one you're actually going to do. So if you love swimming, swim. If you love Pilates, do Pilates. If you love rowing, like as a trainer, I can tell you what I think is going to get you the best results. But at the end of the day, the best workout is one you're actually going to commit to. And we will always say like 10 minutes is better than 0 minutes. And I
Hmm.
have this huge belief that it's about consistency and adaptability. The workout effort I have on Monday might look totally different than what I give on Friday. It doesn't have to be 100% every day. It shouldn't be, honestly. There needs to be 20% days and 10% days, and then there needs to be 50 and 80% days. And so it's just an ebb and flow, but the goal is to have a plan that you can follow so that you are seeing results and you're not just willy-nilly searching. And so that's what we provide is every Sunday we send out an email newsletter, and in that is a 7-day workout plan to follow for the upcoming week. So you're totally set up. All you have to do is show up and press play. It's meant to be like take all the mental load out of it for the moms that are in the audience. So that is the goal. But you can find all of our workouts at nourishmovelove.com. You can follow us on YouTube and Instagram, Nourish Move Love, and it's all free. Free content, free workouts, free workout plans, our New Year's workout program. It's going to be really fun. But if it's not a great fit for you in this season, we have plenty of other programs you can follow.
So many others. And just like Lindsay said, and I think the one thing any of us in the health space when it comes to New Year's resolutions, it's consistency is key. It's not 100% every day. It is someday you show up and you've got 10, and some days you show up and you got 99, and some days you show up and you got 70. Just keep showing up. Show up for yourself, show up for your health. You're worthy of it. You're worthy of showing up for yourself, and your ability to show up for yourself in the little things like movement, daily time, daily devotions, it's going to amplify your ability to show up for your children. And I know that's what most moms want, is they just want that time to be present with their children. If you can pour, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you can just continuously pour into yourself every day, that cup will remain not always full, but fuller. And that is the most important thing. So thank you so much, Lindsay, for joining me today. And like she said, everything is available on her website. There are also, like you said, materials. So if you're a printout, hard paper type of person, they have those. And I love that. So thanks again, Lindsay. I really appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, I'm gonna